and welcome to our spaces this Saturday evening, 8 p.m. West African time. We always do a space. We talk about money, the economy, and of course, personal finance, how you can invest, how you can navigate through the many options, the many risks that are out there. So this is just another edition of that. So thanks guys for tuning in. My name is Kalu Aja and I'm the host. I'm also co-hosting with Obianuju. So if you have a DM or you want to speak, you can send me or Obianuju a DM and we'll just add you on to this important discussion. Obianuju, you want to come off mute and say hi to our guests?
Hi everyone. Great to have you all here today and looking forward to an exciting evening. Many tips. Hi, Carl.
How you doing, Obianuju? Perfect. How was your weekend? Hope it was pleasant like mine.
Yeah, well, was fine.
Come see, come SARS. Here we are. Okay, cool. That's good. Yeah. All right. So it's going to be a good one. So this weekend, right? I want to talk about cryptocurrencies, right? The whole digital currency space. Just to understand really what's going on and if we have to more or less rejig or reassess, our understanding of that space. So the background is, I mostly do personal finance and I always advise people about inflation. And inflation, of course, being the loss of purchasing power, right? So you've got $1,000, you're earning that, and you could buy, say, let's just say you could buy maybe 100 loaves of bread. With inflation, the same $1,000, you can only buy, say, 90 loaves of bread. Just an example, right? So inflation really attacks your purchasing power. So we are always looking for ways we can retain our purchasing power. Do we buy dollars and hold? Do we put it in an account that can earn us faster than the rate of inflation? And the new thing has been this Bitcoin, right? And Bitcoin has been on, and the US inflation has been really low. US inflation has been, give or take, to 1%, 2% for the past, I would say about 4, 5, 6 years before 2021. After the COVID-induced supply chain crisis, we've seen US inflation go up. This has been driven more or less by energy. So crude oil prices have gone up and they have dragged inflation with it. What this has meant is that the earnings that we make, our wages, our investments, and all that, they now have to keep up, right? Because if inflation goes up, then what we're earning, that purchasing power has gone down. So a way that I've always heard people describe Bitcoin is digital gold. And the reason is this: gold is usually a hedge against uncertainty and in some instances inflation. So if the markets are going down, gold tends to go up. If you buy gold, it sort of tends to hold its own or hold its value. So they've mentioned Bitcoin as the currency, which is a cryptocurrency, right? As digital gold, meaning that if I hold gold, I am able, right, to more or less avoid those shocks of inflation. But has it actually panned out that way? That is my point. Is the Bitcoin, is it still digital gold? Can we still say we can hold our, should we say, currency in Bitcoin? This is just what I want to address today. So I brought some experts because I'm not a crypto expert. There are a few guys that know a lot better than me. And of course, if you know a lot about crypto and digital currencies, please hop in and also join in the conversation. I have a specific query. For me, it's all about the finance side, inflation. Does Bitcoin still hedge against inflation? And guys, I can give you the answer real quick. It's not. It's not hedging against inflation. If we look at the performance, right, of Bitcoin for this year, so if we look at, say, performance of Bitcoin for this year, it's down, right? It's down about 14%. And it's down also with stocks. Stocks are down all through this year. So equities are down, and I'll give you the exact figures, right? So stocks are down about 12% for the year today. This is US stocks are down 12%. Bitcoin is down 16% for the year 2022. So Bitcoin has performed, should we say, quote unquote, worse than US stocks, right? So they haven't really hedged our assets in that regard. But let me add a caveat. If you bought Bitcoin in 2019 and you simply held that Bitcoin since 2019, you would have been in profit. You would have been able to protect your investment. So Bitcoin would have done about 468, right? Percentage return from 2019, and it would have beaten gold and the S&P 500. So on that track, if you bought 2019 and you held your Bitcoin till date, you'd have beaten gold and stocks. But for 2022, with inflation now going to 7%, when we're talking 7%, we're talking about dollar investment. That's what we're talking about, dollar investment. So it's literally like US dollar investment. Bitcoin has not beaten stocks or inflation in 2022, hence my query. So I brought a few experts. I've got Oloye here. I also invited Royce. He's a yield guy. He can talk about crypto farming and all that. So it's just to have a great discussion. Oloye, I know you are in here. I don't know if you can speak yet. I know you are still like driving. If you can speak, you can unmute and say hi. Otherwise, we'll just essentially just continue with the conversation. I can hear you very well, Oloye. Welcome to the party, right? Hey, how you doing? Thanks for making it. I appreciate you doing this. I think I hear a bit of echo. I don't know if it's me or you. Super, excellent. So Ole, I don't know if you heard me right. I laid out the case for the spaces tonight. I said 2019 to date, Bitcoin has beaten stocks and gold. But 2022, Bitcoin has not beaten stocks or gold. So is Bitcoin still, is it still the game in town? Is it still this digital gold that can protect us from inflation?
Now, because we've seen more volatility in the stock market now, does that make them not like the assets that they are anymore? Because this is momentary, this is short term. I mean, the history of Bitcoin proves to us that this is short term. So can we then make definitive statements and say, yeah, definitely, this is no longer an edge against inflation just because we are at this point in the market now?
Yeah, I hear your question, and I think it's a good comeback, right? But the thing is, Bitcoin is quote unquote marketed as the digital gold. So if I buy Bitcoin, I can hedge inflation. And we've not had inflation in the past. In 2019, there was no 7% inflation. The US inflation right now is about 7.9 or so. That is extremely high. Even though it's sort of quote unquote transitory because of the COVID, it's high. So we have never tested this Bitcoin theory of it being a hedge against inflation till today. So Naira, if you're a Naira holder, yes, Bitcoin is protecting you from inflation. What about dollar?
Yeah, I still think it is. I think it is because if we were having this conversation in February, in February, Bitcoin was maybe I think 130% year on year. I mean, what the question should be, it should start from like the basics. What is inflation? That is, you lose purchasing power because you're holding a certain currency. Yeah. So as Bitcoin outperformed the dollar itself, that is the question. Would you earn more dollars? Would you have had more dollars today
you had bought Bitcoin, say at a certain, I don't know, maybe last year, would you have more dollars today than you would have than if you did not buy Bitcoin? Would you have a annual dollar? Would you have more dollars today then, which means now you can afford more. You didn't really lose your purchasing power because you have something that has protected you from that instead of just holding the Bitcoin dollars itself. So has Bitcoin done that? The answer is yes, definitely it has done that. So if you bought Bitcoin last year, I mean, depending on when you bought it, you didn't buy the top. We're talking, I'm going to speak now from say you're an institutional investor who actually knows what you're doing. You're not just looking for the next price pump and all that stuff, so you didn't buy the top. So I'm going to speak like that and be okay, if you did do your research and you did buy Bitcoin, I'd say, I don't know, you're good at reading charts and all that stuff, and you bought a favorable price. Would you have more dollars today than you would have had if you were just holding dollars in itself and if you're holding stable currency? So I guess the answer is yes for most people who bought Bitcoin. I mean, Tesla is up, MicroStrategy is up from their entry price. So these are the guys we can look at and be like, okay, because retailers don't really care about inflation and all these things, but they're all just news who don't know what we're doing in the market. So these guys are the guys that can now say, okay, if we can compare and contrast and actually speak like economists. As Bitcoin help you appreciate the value of your dollars? The answer is yes. So I think it has actually proven as an edge against inflation.
Okay, it's good. On that good comeback, Lloyd. Appreciate that. So I just shared on my Twitter feed, guys, in case you want to follow with numbers. I just shared the data points I'm referring to for 2019 that shows Bitcoin essentially beating gold and the S&P and of course U.S. money supply. So if you just look on the timeline, you should see that graph from Bloomberg. Essentially, it's showing comparing Bitcoin, and it's quite a huge gap. And you can see gold is flat. You can see stocks are flat. This year, stocks are negative, not even flat. They are negative for 2022. We're talking about US now. But for gold is slightly up because of course the Ukraine crisis. That's uncertainty, and the market likes to run to safety. So that's the lowest point, that if you had done that in 2019 and all, you would have beaten inflation. I hear him. So let's take on that track and look at this, right? For Naira, I think we can definitely reach the conclusion that if I bought Bitcoin or any digital currency, or let's just stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum, I would have beaten inflation. But let me just ask you technically, because I'm more or less learning from you, right? Between Bitcoin and Ethereum, for a Nigerian guy, right, or XRP or whatever, which should be the coin or the token I should be looking at for a Nigerian guy that just wants to hold? I've heard about this cryptocurrency thing. I want to just buy and hold just to protect the value of my Naira. Which one should I be looking at if you could give us an idea?
Yeah, definitely happy to. It depends on who you are, because nothing is absolute. So it depends on the kind of investor that you are. It depends on how much you have in your war chest. In the sense that Bitcoin will not go 2x or 3x in no time. Like, it will not go parabolic. You understand? So if you are one of the small guys who doesn't really have a lot of capital, then maybe you want to go for Ethereum, because then Ethereum still has a chance to do that. So but if you're one of the big guys, then I guess you'll be more concerned about like preservation of your capital. That is where these guys will buy treasury bills that gives them 9%, because they are more concerned with like preservation of capital instead of like the appreciation of the capital itself. If they are happy to take 5% on this, because if you're taking 5% on a billion, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you're taking 5% on $1,000, that is not money. So I guess it depends on the kind of investor that you are. For say retail investors, I prefer you. I would advise you with Ethereum if you're a retail investor. But if you have, say you work from some hedge fund or all that stuff, then definitely Bitcoin.
So I see retail guys, Ethereum, and you're based on that because of the unit price. Is that what I'm hearing you say? The unit price of Ethereum?
No, I'm talking about volatility. Bitcoin is less volatile than Ethereum.
Oh, okay, okay, I hear, I hear.
So if you are concerned with top-down preservation, then you have to go for something less volatile.
Excellent, Oloye. So I've got Royce. Royce, welcome to the party. I've been talking to Oloye, just trying to gauge his view on the comparison of Bitcoin as digital gold. And I get the figures out there. I posted the Bloomberg chart on my feed that compares 2019 Bitcoin with S&P and gold. And Bitcoin seems to do better in 2019, but for 2020, it's not been up to date. Royce, I don't know if you could come off mute and just give us your own take on this, right? Are we still expecting Bitcoin to get to 100,000 in the year 2022? It didn't happen in 2021. Should we expect a 100,000 per currency Bitcoin in 2022?
Man, I don't know really whether it'll be in 2022. I can't predict the future, obviously, and there's a lot of different factors that go into it. My personal opinion is that it will hit 100,000 soonish. I don't know whether that means this year or in the next couple years, but I do see it going there eventually.
Why would it get there?
So I think there's a couple of things, and when we see all the stuff that's happening now today in the world, I think what people start to realize is that if you really want to be able to spend your money or have true security over your money or your wealth, then there's only a few different vehicles that you can really keep things in without having some issues maybe getting it out. So we can see people that maybe are protesting things that states don't like, have their bank accounts locked. Countries that do things that the other countries don't like are having their accounts shut down. And so when it comes down to it, there's maybe a couple of things that can really store wealth without being in the control of other people, what we would call kind of self-custody.
Yeah.
One of those things is cash, right? Notes and stuff that you can spend quickly. I think another one is kind of precious metals like gold, which is a more historical, traditional store of value, right? And something new on the scene is Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Because of that self-custody aspect, you can kind of pick up and go and spend it without anyone really keeping you from doing that, which is, I think, going to have much more utility in the near future.
I completely agree. I mean, if we look at what happened in Canada, where guys were protesting, right, and their accounts got frozen, then look at the sanctions. I mean, whoever side you support, but you have a government basically essentially freezing the central bank accounts of another government, right? So, I mean, if I was a millionaire and I had a few millions, I would definitely want to have a few of my millions just in Bitcoin, just in case, I want to have access to it and I don't want to be frozen because my government has done something that I didn't do. I hear you, and I think I agree with you on that point.
Yeah, and I think, there's sort of extra utility with it being a digital asset, right? In which case, imagine you're a refugee or you're someone who has to move quickly from where you are with your money. There's only so much money you can go across a border with in cash or in gold.
That is true. That is true.
And Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, really will let you go anywhere you want with 12 words that you can memorize or write down, or a number of different schemes to kind of keep your asset from ever really being known that you're traveling with it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of utility for that use case. I think more people are going to kind of realize that as the world continues to go down different paths here.
Great point. And you see, Ukraine and Russia have both now accepted Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies as legal tender. So that use case, that utility is just going to keep on improving. And I think that would then drag even China. And we're already in Africa, we're already Bitcoin users because we have to, right? So I think when Europe, if you want to send money to the Ukraine now and you don't do Bitcoin, you might now have to do Bitcoin or cryptocurrency to send that in. So that utility case is improving, and I think it's just positive for the sector. But Roy, since I have you here, right, I want to talk about this yield farming. Like for me, the way I trade or the way I invest in Bitcoin is that I buy these digital currencies and I just stake them. Because way back when rates were like 0 or 1 in the US, I was getting 6%, 7%, 8% if I staked my currency, right? And say, I just bought the Bitcoin and I stake it and I get that fixed return. So is that the right way to approach holding Bitcoin, stake everything? Do you have an option on this? What are your views on staking and yield farming? I really want us to just learn this. If you could just take us through it for a bit.
Sure. I think when we talk about yield farming, like you said, usually what it means is using your cryptocurrencies to earn additional yield on it versus just what we might call holding, right? Keeping it in a wallet or in a cold wallet somewhere. And I think there's a number of different ways that yield actually is generated. A lot of what I think you would see Bitcoin staking, especially with the exchanges, essentially means that you're loaning, your Bitcoin to the exchange or to a central party like Celsius or Nexo. There's a bunch of them right now, and they lend it out or use it as collateral to lend out to traders or other counterparties, essentially, in what amounts to a rehypothecation scheme, right? And so it's very similar to a bank. You get high yields because there's more risk, essentially, and the institutions that they're lending your coins out to, have to pay a premium basically to get that. And so that's one way to get yield on your coins, right? You can stake with a centralized service, right, like an exchange or another centralized finance application. There's also yield farming and staking that you can do on chain. So for example, you could wrap your Bitcoin into red Bitcoin or wrap Bitcoin and put it on the Ethereum chain or another layer 1 chain, right? And you could deposit it in a lending protocol like Aave or Compound. And essentially that's a very similar situation where you deposit your coins and people can borrow it from the protocol, right? And they can use it to do whatever, short sell or to hedge, et cetera, et cetera. And the difference with it being on chain is that because it's a smart contract, there's no centralized party that's actually running that and is making the risk assessments or doing the lending documents, et cetera, et cetera. So where if you lend to a Celsius or a Nexo or Binance, there's some centralized risk, right? That they could theoretically disappear and run away with your money.
Yeah.
On chain, you have smart contract risk and risk of hacks and things, but a lot of these protocols are very well vetted and have been running for years now and have billions of dollars basically in them that is being lent and borrowed. And so that's another way that people get yield.
Gotcha.
And I think the thing is you always want to understand kind of where that yield is coming from. Sometimes it's coming from borrowing fees, basically interest. Sometimes it's coming from rewards emissions in the protocol where they're giving rewards to people that are using it. So it's important to understand kind of where it's coming from and understand what the risks are.
Yeah.
Because it is more risky, and that's why you're getting a return, right? Than just holding Bitcoin on Bitcoin wallet or something like that.
Yeah, because for me, man, when I first saw those yields, I'll be honest with you, man, I did not trust them. But the guy that introduced them to me was very, very reliable. This company was based in the US, they had all the apps. So I just did what I thought I could lose, and they've been paying ever since. I'm now up to about 9% APY. This is US dollars, 9%. I just put money in there weekly. I have no issues. I don't even do on-chain. I'm not that techie. I don't know if it's on-chain or if it's, but I give them. And what I understand they do with this is that they lend it out, and essentially that's what they're doing. So I have just been in there with them, no issues, 9% APR. To me, for me, that beats my inflation. I'm still in crypto, For me, that's all in all. I like it.
the risk and look at the different options, and you have a stack of coins that you would otherwise be holding.
Yeah.
It's a good idea, in my mind, to try and get additional yield, just like if you had a stack of dollars or whatever other currency. It's not necessarily that you would want to just keep under your mattress. You invest it or put it in the bank with the intent to get interest, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm looking at, right? So I was giving Oloye time to get back. I don't know Oloye if he can speak. I want him to get home safe and sound. But I've got lots of guys in here that also want to speak. If you want to speak, guys, just send me a signal on mute. Or Oloye is back there. I'm just gonna add him as a speaker, and then we can take it now. Oloye, welcome back. Are you in at home now? Okay, it's just gonna have a few seconds to come back in. So yeah, Oloye, it looks like you're in there. Great. So Royce, thanks for the comments, right? So again, for me, like guys, I'm just sharing. I'm just like you guys out there. I'm not a geek. I'm not a techie guy. For me, Bitcoin and Ethereum and the rest, I look at them as asset classes, right? I'm just an investor, and I don't understand white papers. I don't understand the tech side of it, but I do understand yield. I do understand inflation, and for me, I want an easy way to invest in this, right? It's so complicated sometimes. I now use this app called Token Metrics that gives me, like the narrative behind the numbers. So this week, I saw an NFT. I think it's a guy's. This might be for you, right? The Ape Club. They now have an NFT, of course, with the trade the board Ape guys. They now have a coin, the Ape coin. That guy was up 1,304% last week. So is this going to be a new Shiba or a new, Dogecoin? Is this something we should look at, like short-term trade to get in and maybe get out? I don't know if you know about this Ape coin. Last week it was the number one top ranking coin in terms of just price appreciation. So Oloye, if you can you speak now?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear you perfectly. Yes.
All right. Yeah, as far as the ape goes, I think I know. I've had conversations with my friends. I mean, the guys I think know better than me. And we've tried to discuss it. So why does board ape to yacht club?
Yeah.
Base, why doesn't it be token? What should the token be used for? What is the point? I mean, from first principles, however you want to look at it, what is the use of it? I think for me, it's just a way to reward the community, yeah?
Yeah.
And you can see most of the community immediately dumped. Then it formed again, because that is just how trading engines work. Because trading engines and trading houses are always putting up for the tops. So you're trading against algorithms and stuff. So anyway, as far as the use case of apes itself goes, I don't see it. There's no reason for it, because people still trade on chain or OpenSea or wherever with Ethereum. And the devs are saying, oh yeah, there's going to be a game, and or to be the game token for the game that's going to be built in the metaverse. Yeah, but the thing is, that is all just in the future. Why do you not deploy the game first? Then you kind of distribute the apes or whatever as the in-game token. So I just think that's a way to reward community.
Yeah.
When the people who are already out there, they already got their rewards by swapping to Ethereum. So the people who are just trading now are just trading for volatility.
Gotcha.
It has a lot of volume. So if you want to trade, that is going to be short term.
Also, that's actually good. Yeah, because I saw it and I was like, wow, 1,000%. If I'd gotten on Monday, hey, I would have gotten out maybe today 1,000% in USD.
Oh, that 1,000% is not real.
It's not real. What does that mean?
No, it is not real. It is not real in the sense that the percentage is calculated from when it is before it is listed on the exchange. So immediately it is listed on the exchange, then it says, oh, this is the percentage that has appreciated between the time that we, the time that we took it off, wherever they take it off.
Yes.
The tax or whatever, and put it on the exchange. So it is not like you buy on the exchange. If you check the charts on any of the exchanges, it went down straight. Immediately people were able to get liquidity.
I'm looking at
in the sense that buyers.
I'm looking at it right now. So
yeah, look at the first 1 hour candle. It went down.
Yeah, first 1 hour candle, yeah. But now it was launched, I think, on the 16th. From the 16th to now, it's up, give or take, about 2%. It's now trading at about 23 cents. It was launched at about.
We're talking about ape,
yeah? Yeah, ApeCoin, yeah.
I think it should be more than 23 cents because I trade it. I think the last one I sold is
about $14. It's about $14 now. Right now, about $14 now, March 19th. March 16th, it was way less. So if you look at the 7-day return of that guy, that's about 1,000.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
you trade it for short-term volatility.
Okay.
It's like really holding.
Okay.
So, but the first 1 hour candle was just down, like straight down, because people were trying to test liquidity and all that stuff.
Okay.
So now they have the liquidity.
Yeah.
You can take. Imagine I buy a board ape, I get 100 whatever amount of apes that I get that ape. I swap it to Ethereum immediately by selling to the youths who are going to buy on Binance because they think it's launching. So I sell to them. I sell to them at whatever percent I sell to them. I buy it at maybe I sell at 13, then I buy it again at 6. If I sell at 13, I can take half of the money and buy again at 6 without risking any loss.
I got you.
That's what I'm saying.
So you get
I can split that money. Yeah, it is literally a risk-free trade for the people who got the airdrop.
Yeah, okay. So I'm trying to explain this just for the other listeners, right? So that we can follow, right? So I get the ape at say 2 cents, right? And I immediately trade it for Ethereum. So I trade it for Ethereum, right? Then just to break it down. So when I have an Ethereum, right, my Ethereum is already at a higher quote unquote intrinsic price. Is that what you're saying? So the difference is going to be because I can take that ape and transit without paying cash to another quote unquote higher intrinsic valued coin.
Let me use USDT. I think that's what most people are more familiar with. It's like stable coin here. I got the ape though. Most of the people who got it because it is the body. So of course they are like guys who have enough liquidity. So the rewards they get. I had a friend who got about 94 Ethereum.
Okay.
Out of it, if you convert it, that is like 100 million naira.
Mm-hmm.
These are like not small guys. They already have money. So imagine, but let me use USDT. I take that 94. I sell it for USDT, whatever the amount of Ethereum would be. Let's assume I'm getting 20,000 USDT for that amount,
Okay.
I sell it on an exchange. I saw the ape on an exchange. Are you following?
Yes, listening carefully.
I saw the ape on an exchange at 13,
Yeah.
I got it for free,
Yeah.
So now I'm selling it at an exchange for 13 because there's no reason to hold on to it.
So pure profit.
I sell it at an exchange for 13, so I get all the profit. And now I'm buying again at 6. So I can take my capital out of it and use my profit to buy again at 6.
I see what you're saying.
Because that is what the volatility is. There's still FOMO. It's just game theory. It is how traders work. Like you just talked about now, you saw something that appreciated 1,000%. A lot of people will pay attention to that.
I see what you're saying. So I take out I take out some principal and I put some back into the coin. It rises in price, and the next guys are coming at buying at that higher price. More or less.
Exactly. We can pump it back.
We can
have free money to pump it now. We're literally using free money to like pump it now. Because we got it for free in the first place.
Oh man.
We've gotten a profit on what we got for free already. So now, right now it's just like the free money that was used to pump it back here. So you buy again, sell again. It's just like that until nobody's no longer interested.
Okay, and this is the thing that scares people about crypto, right? What do they buy that is not being quote unquote pumped? Are they being pumped? You buy something and someone tells you, well, this is this protocol or that coin. So people like if I buy stocks, right? I can look at the dividends, I can look at the price earnings ratio, and I can tell you if the stock is expensive. I can look at the volume traded, and I can tell you, wow, this volume is higher, or there's insiders buying and selling. I can give a picture of that stock to you if I just look at the stock and the fundamentals. If I look at ApeCoin, and I'm looking at ApeCoin as any other coin, apart from take away Bitcoin, take away Ethereum. If I look at Solana or Dogecoin, what are the fundamentals as an investor? What should I look at to say this is a good coin to buy today, or this is a good coin to buy to hold? What do you guys look at in terms of fundamental when you look at this coin? Forget the big boys, but this little tiny quote unquote SHIT coins. What do you guys look at? Royce, you want to say something? I saw you come off mute.
Yeah, I think there's different ways to look at it, right? And just like with stocks, you got some stocks that give dividends because of XYZ. They're an oil stock, versus a stock that's giving dividends, which is like a CPG, like a Johnson & Johnson or something. So, all of the coins also have different ways or not of making money. And a lot of the quote unquote, shit coins maybe don't really have any fundamentals behind them other than, hype or the fact that they're a meme or something like that, right? And that doesn't mean that they're not going to go up, but it also, could just be like a company that people are buying into because they like the name and it doesn't necessarily make any money. Other coins, for example, Ethereum, does have revenues essentially because every part or most of the parts of transactions, the gas fee part of that is burned and basically.
Alert! What is burned? What is gas fee? We're gonna define it. Yeah. Just so we follow, right?
Basically, Ethereum, which is a distributed computer essentially that runs on a bunch of other people's computers, in order to process a transaction and change the state of that, that computer, basically, you have to pay a fee, and that keeps people from spamming the network and basically being bad actors. And so it's the fee that you pay in order to have space
Gotcha.
in a block, right?
Excellent.
So that's the gas fee.
Excellent.
And burning is basically a way that we talk about destroying coins. And so in Ethereum's case, there's a lot of different ways you can burn coins, and a lot of protocols use it in different ways. But in Ethereum's case, whenever you send a transaction and pay a fee, part of that fee basically is destroyed, which means that the coin is basically deflationary when there's a lot of usage. Those burn fees can essentially be thought of as revenue to the entire network, right?
Okay, so it's gas, revenues, and all that kind of stuff. And why do you burn exactly? Why do you take coins off, in quotes? Why are you burning? Why?
Ethereum made it as an architectural decision to help secure the network and basically to drive value to the underlying token, Ether. There's protocols, for example, MakerDAO, which is a lending protocol on Ethereum that mints DAI, which is a stable coin pegged to the dollar. They burn Maker tokens, and that's a way of giving revenue back to holders. So there's a bunch of different ways to do it. There's other protocols, for example, if you were to hold lock curve or CDX curve, for example, that's staked.
Yeah.
You can actually earn in dollars, which is fees that you get from traders essentially, right? That go to curve holders.
Gotcha.
So there's a lot of different things, and you could think of the dollars as a real kind of dividend, the same way you would think of stock dividends. And if you buy those dollar cash flows and you were to project the cash flows into the future, you could kind of do a similar DCF analysis or similar financial analysis that you would do to stocks.
Excellent.
Now, I think the thing that trips people up is that a lot of coins don't have any of those fundamentals, and there are coins like Doge, for example, or ApeCoin maybe that don't really have any revenue mechanism, and the reason they go up is because people think the price is going to be higher, and it's essentially speculation.
Which is what Oloye is explaining, that vicious cycle of buy, dump, and all that. That cycle starts to develop and creates quote unquote momentum.
Exactly, and he has a really good point, because with something like ApeCoin, where people are airdropped it, and these are also typically kind of whales anyways, if they're holding a Bored Ape, right? If you go look, the liquidity, I think, for the coin on chain was under 50 million.
Right.
And so when you have these kind of early coins and there's not a lot of liquidity, it doesn't take a lot of buying pressure to really move the price a lot. But for that 50 million liquidity, I think there's the fully diluted valuation of all the coins that will eventually be in circulation could be billions of dollars. And so you can think of even if one person has $200 million of those coins, they can basically tank the price immediately by selling just a portion of that.
Which is, again, that's what he's saying. It's not a real quote unquote yield. That 1000% I was saying wasn't real. All right, I'm learning. Oloye, I had asked Oloye a question about the fundamentals. Like, I want to know if I pick a coin, not the big boys, the small guys, what fundamentals, what am I looking for to tell me this coin is good for now? Like, I can tell you if your stock is good for today, or if your stock is good for tomorrow, or for long term for your pension scheme. How should I do this for digital currency, Oloye? Can you give me a few tips? How can I look at a coin and say this is good for now, or this is good for my pension?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's what we call tokenomics.
Optimum risk? Is that what you said?
No, tokenomics.
Okay.
Yeah, tokenomics of a coin is what we usually have. And that is a lot of different metrics, like, okay, what is the maximum supply of the coin? I mean, how much of the coin is in the market at the moment? I'm trying to, when I talk about crypto, a lot of people think like they're lost, because I know I'm talking to a Nigerian audience, so I try to break it down as much as possible.
Please do.
This is me doing my best to break it down as much as possible. There's not. So once we get like technicals, or I'm talking about, okay, if I'm looking at a coin, the first thing I would look at, I mean, I don't really look at coins as, if I'm looking at, like you said, if I'm saving for maybe just fund for my kids and all that stuff, I'll stick with Bitcoin and Ethereum. That is it. But now I'm looking to be a speculator. I'm trying to say, okay, which coin will give me value? Which coin can give me value in the short term? I mean, maybe 6 months for 1 year time, which coin can give me value? So for those, you will look at the maximum supply, obviously. You look at the speculating supply, obviously. You also kind of have to get an idea of what the project itself wants to do.
Okay.
Some things just go better with intuition. Does it make sense to do what you're trying to do? Because a lot of people will just stick with being inside here and just add a bunch of words together, and it doesn't really make sense. Now, when AXX, I'm going to use a practical example now, which is Axie Infinity. When AXX started marketing, AXX did its marketing as, hey guys, you would usually pay for maybe a Call of Duty to play the game. You would usually pay for a lot of the games that you play on your phone. You just play them for fun, yeah? And these are games, these are teams, and some of them you pay to play, and some of them you just play for fun. You're not really doing anything with them. Talk about a game where you can actually play to earn. In the sense that, depending on how good you get at this game, if your characters, if you're really good at the game, and you can build up your characters to a certain level, based on how good you are at the game, those characters can be worth more. And you can just trade them and sell them on the open markets that are going to create for you.
Interesting.
And also, that is not the only thing that you're going to be getting. Per game that you play, you also earn some amount of tokens that are, they call it the City of Potion, SLP. You also earn SLPs that will provide liquidity for that you can sell. So this is a game that you can play and actually earn real life money. So I think their marketing was top notch. The places that they targeted, like the Philippines and those low income Asian countries where people are not really doing much anyway. And I actually came at the right time with COVID and people not really doing anything much, economy suffering and all that stuff. So yeah, that's if you have read the white paper for that kind of project, it will make intuitive sense to you, yeah. So you know, okay, in 6 months I should be able to get something out of this project. There's no further else, just me. It's just osmosis and all that stuff. But yeah, without getting too much because I'm just going to, there's an article that we wrote on it already. We read an article called Economics. So I'm going to just link the article to the spaces here.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I would love that.
So people can just go see what, like we call the article how to do your own research. So if you want to do your own research, these are the things that you should look for in the project. So that I think it is better people read it instead of I just ramble on about some technical stuff that they might not really understand.
Excellent. So I'm just gonna thanks Lloyd, thanks Royce, for giving us all that background. I'm just gonna ask the guys that have requested to speak if they can come up and speak. So I just clear the room more or less. We're talking digital currencies, a wide topic. My take on it was from the part of inflation and an asset class to protect against loss of purchasing power. Oloye and Royce have taken us through there, and also talking about yield farming. Oloye has also talked us about how to approach looking at currencies in which we should invest. I noted him say circulating supply and of course the maximum supply. Those are the terms I understand in stockbroking. I look at the shares outstanding and also the shares that can be traded. So for me, I'm thinking he's also speaking my language in terms of looking at what supply is out there that will then determine demand and supply and will then determine the prices as well. Great. So I'm just going to call, I think, the Wolf. Wolf, you've been here for a bit. Did you want to say anything, sir? I have you as the Wolf of altcoins. Let me have you unmute and then say a word, and I could then clear the room. How are you, sir? Go ahead. Then I'll have Victor after that.
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I've been in the background since the beginning, but so far I think Royce and Louis have done justice.
They've been wonderful. Yeah, they've been wonderful.
Yes. So I'll still be around. If you throw any question at me, I'll be available to answer them. And if I have any contribution to add to what anybody is saying, definitely I'll do that too.
What part of this whole ecosystem do you play in? I see you have like a Bored Ape as your DP. Are you in that space?
Actually, my investment strategy is both long term and short term.
Both long and short.
So I have played around a lot of ecosystem. Last year, I think the middle of last year when BSD, that finance ecosystem was still trending.
Yeah.
I played there. Then towards the ending of last year and earlier this year when the Phantom ecosystem was making waves too high, I went there too. I invested in some projects. I did some staking. I even did some farming, some projects. So Phantom is not really good right now. If you are a crypto person, then you must know about what happened, I think about 3 weeks ago, where some of the top developers, Cronje and one other guy, they dropped some tweets that they were leaving some of the major projects in the Phantom ecosystem. So it really caused a lot of hope in the system, and the coin actually dropped. I think after they dropped those tweets, the coin dropped to I think about 60 to almost 100%, I think, but it has been recovering in the last 1 week right now. So I love Phantom a lot, and I still feel like there's a lot of potential in the Phantom ecosystem.
Great.
Then I started my joining with Bitcoin. I started Bitcoin as a doing arbitrage, where I buy Bitcoin from people, then I take it to the to Binance or one of these centralized platforms and I use it for Naira. So that was how I started before I started holding Bitcoin, and then I did a couple of things in Ethereum. I've also advanced some projects in Ethereum too. So
I've got some background noise on you, Mr. Wolf. I think that's from Victor. Victor, could you mute? Victor, if you could mute that.
Okay. Sorry.
I've been in the industry for about 4 years now, and I've played around a lot. So right now, I'm not really doing much. I'm just observing, looking at what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks before I start doing anything substantial.
Okay, let us know what you're doing so we can share. I mean, people log in here to get tips and advice. So if you have any tips for us, let us know. Hey guys, Oloye has just shared how to do your own research. That's a Substack article, how to do your own research. I'm going to read that stuff this weekend because I want to get better at this crypto game, right? This crypto investing. So please, it's on the feed. Just go ahead and grab it. Learn by doing, right? When we talk, get stuff, read, get better, and implement. So Oloye and Royce, right? What I did was last year I did an experiment, right? I took about $100 and I looked for more or less 5 quote unquote SHIT coins that I knew nothing about. These were coins below $1. And I basically just invested in them to see what would happen, right? So I think I bought 5 of them. So I did a review, I think it was last year in December. Those things are up about 600%. So my criteria was it has to be below $1 and I have to have known nothing about it. And I just bought them. And they're like up 600%. This is the pool, I think, for cryptocurrency for many people, that it's just a quote unquote easy way to make money. But I don't understand what I did. If you ask me why I bought that stock or why I didn't buy that stock or sorry, that cryptocurrency, I couldn't tell you. So is there going to be a movement, you guys think? Is there going to be a movement like how we have the formal markets, where we tend to get, like Oloye has talked about, secular supply and all that, where it's more or less a regulated, or should we say advised way to track a coin and to say this coin is good or this coin is bad? I mean, is there an agreement that just like we have PE ratios in stock, we're going to have something like that in the crypto market, and that tends to guide us. So we don't have an ape coin coming out at 1,000%, and like the lawyer is saying, it's not really real. Do you guys see that happening in the future, where we have a standardized way of cryptos reporting performance so that we can track them and know if we're doing pretty well?
Yeah, we already have those.
Yeah.
We already have those, so you can look up CoinGlass.
CoinGlass.
Glass.
Okay, CoinGlass.
Yeah, CoinGlass.com, and there's also I'm going to get back to you on the second one.
Okay. I'm just going to open that page real quick up here so I can share what I see with the guys that are listening, right? So, I mean, if we had that would really help, right? That would sort of like help this, should we say, regulation, self-regulation.
And then from a cash flow perspective, or a balance sheet or income statement?
So, something like that, right? There has to be something fundamental I can wrap my arms around. That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I think the thing is that we're still quite early with cryptocurrencies, and we don't have those standardized tools. People have taken the tools of traditional finance, like income statements or cash flow statements, and tried to apply it to certain coins, but it doesn't mean it's necessarily one for one. But as the space matures, I think looking continue to see sort of more standardized ways of evaluating. If you look at a lot of the big research outfits or the big trading companies or hedge funds that are kind of in crypto, it's sure that they have risk models and ways that they evaluate their investments and whatnot. And so as it gets more widespread, I expect to see more of that in the space.
Yeah, CoinGlass. I just pulled up CoinGlass. It's pretty cool because I see long positions, I see short positions, I see funding, I see open interest. I understand those terms, so I like it. I can look at this and I can tell real quick which ones are going to see a demand pull and all that kind of stuff. I do like this. So, Leigh, thanks for the tip. I'm going to share on Twitter for those that want to go as well to CoinGlass. It's CoinGlass. It looks like something that is perfectly that we can go on. Victor, you've been holding on. Do you want to say a word, sir, before we go back to the open house? We're going to have open house pretty soon now. So, Victor, you have the mic. Go ahead. I've got Royce, I've got Aloye, and we're going to be on you as well. So, go ahead, sir. You've got the floor.
So basically, I've got a confusion, and then that I want to add. Then I have a question.
Go for it, sir.
So my understanding of tokens from when growing up is that tokens are what you use in a place where you cannot use money, e.g., a casino or some games.
Like an arcade, right?
From particular destination or some particular places you need to go to, but you cannot use real money there. So you take your real money, take it to this person, this casino or this place, and buy token for your money, so that when you get into that space, you'll be able to live, isn't it?
Correct.
Now, something is then fundamentally wrong with crypto today. If everybody keeps mining coins and that coin is not tied to any use but speculation, isn't it?
Well, if you've heard what people are talking about, we're talking about the use case now. Look at Ukraine. So it's no longer speculation now. If I want to send money to Russia or to Ukraine, the best way now is through buying a cryptocurrency.
For every coin now is money transfer. Is that what we're saying?
Not for every currency, right? But that's a use case for at least for Bitcoin. And Ethereum has got lots of smart contracts that are being used running on the Ethereum platform. So you can do smart contract insurance and all that. Although it can give you a better sense of that. I'll let you go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks. Victor, it's a good question because I like it when people start from what they understand and try to then leverage that knowledge of what they already understand and try to use it to understand something else. That is a really good place to start. The definition of token in the normal world is actually very correct. That is why you exchange your money for a token and then you go use that token to obtain whatever kind of utility that you would benefit from, whether it's a game or whatever, or it is a washing machine that you'd have to operate. So that's
exactly.
Yeah. But here's the thing, yeah. Cryptocurrencies are it's like saying money. You understand? It's like saying fiat currency. You can't bunch all of them together. Like the dollar is no meat for the naira, yeah? And the naira is no meat for I don't know which country we are better than as well.
The naira is useless in America. Why the naira is useless in America, even though it's money. So to the specific geographical location called Nigeria, the naira is very valuable. Because if you don't have naira, they are what?
Exactly. You just made my point for me. In the sense that you look at all these tokens that you're buying, and all of them have an ecosystem. They have something that they're trying to do. So your Aave might be useless in Curve, and your what is it called? Your Solana might be useless in Ethereum. Do you understand? All of them have a utility. Maybe it is not like the utility that you can use right now. A lot of them are more futuristic.
Yeah, but so why don't you think that that's the part of crypto that actually needs to be explained to the population. That if you have this coin or this token, you'll be able to do this particular thing, because that's the problem that people have. I am buying this token, at least when I know that I'm buying gold, I know I can do jewelry for my wife. When I know I'm buying diamond, I know I can use it to make proposal for my girlfriend. Right? So what exactly can I use this coin for? Because there's no end result but speculation.
That is where what we call white papers come in. Every project before they launch, they tell you what their dream is, what their goal is. It's like, imagine like the jobs coming to you with maybe if it was, I don't know what the Apple was like. I'm trying to tell you, I'm going to make this thing. It is not a computer, it is not a music player, it's just something you can, it's not like the normal phone. So it's
isn't that what the investor is supposed to know? That's my question. Because
yeah.
And don't do that right now.
And that's what.
Buy this coin.
And
tied to what? If I know that the coin I'm buying is going to be the future currency for electricity, that nobody can get electricity except they have that coin, then I'm going to put a lot of money on it. Because they are already working with all the power companies to make sure that nobody can buy electricity without having that token.
Yes, I'm getting to that, Mr. Victor.
Because
this is what I'm saying.
allow him
like
to.
Every project will pitch you what the idea is. Just like Bill Gates will pitch you Microsoft. Whenever he pitched the people we had to pitch, just like Elon Musk had to pitch Tesla. So it is what we are buying. Cryptos now are the ideas. I think ideas are some of like the best investments you can make if an idea goes right. We don't know for sure what is going to happen in the future, but we're trying to say this is the Web3. This is a new frontier of the web. This is a decentralized, permissionless world, and this is our part in that. This is what we're going to do. This is even the metaverse. If you are in the metaverse, then you need we are selling this token called SPAN because it is attached to digital, like verifiable digital proof that you actually own a portion of that metaverse that we have programmed to our smart contract. So that is every single project has a white paper. If someone tells you go and buy this, go and buy that, you can easily just pull up their white paper and try to understand if that thing that they're telling you to go buy makes any sort of sense. So that's what we're talking about.
I think almost.
Somebody buys the coin, somebody should look for the white paper for that coin.
Correct. That's what I hear him saying. Correct. You should do your own due diligence. There are so many coins. Do your own due diligence.
Yes, you should not leave your financial destiny to someone else to make. You don't know what their own biases. You don't know if.
Then my final question is: what happens when the 21,000 or the 21,000 Bitcoin is mined in a year or two's time?
It can't be mined in a year or two, I think, Oloy. I think it's going to be mined years from today. Years from today. Like more than 20 years from today, I believe.
The thing is.
Yeah, so what happens when the last 21,000 Bitcoin is mined?
It will become like gold and diamonds. The price will go up because there's limited supply.
There's a fixed supply. That is the thing. But even people in the ecosystem are arguing against that thing now. That okay, at some point you said gold, the supply of gold is fixed, but every year they still discover somebody new.
They discover new gold, exactly. So new mines are being created.
And there was an update on Bitcoin, I think last year, or was it earlier this year? So it means the developers are still working. It is not an abandoned project. There will be new ideas that will be tested based on how the market's involved. Right now, Bitcoin is like, they call it digital gold. Some will say it is the new form of money. I'm going to tell you a story that I heard from Michael Saylor. And they had some of their money talking. I can't remember what country it is now. They had, I think, about $1 billion stock in that country. So then they wanted to devalue their currency. So Microsoft was trying to get his own $1 million out before they could devalue their currency. He had the currency equivalent of $1 million. So he was trying to get his own currency out before they could devalue the currency. And they told him, you can't do that. You can't do that. We just can't let you do that. It's like, okay, what if I use this currency to buy a yacht and I just sold the yacht to the US? They're saying, no, if you have to do that, then we have to take some export, some duties. And by the time you finish, by the time your yacht gets to the US, 40% of the cost we have to pass due in duties. That is where Bitcoin comes in. Nobody charges you a duty on Bitcoin. It's permissionless. You can go anywhere and vice versa. You can move it anywhere. Think about like Afghanistan, so have to run away from their country. You don't have to like take your physical naira with you somewhere where it is.
Yeah, we're basically running that idea with the belief that the government is just going to continue to ignore us. But we know that that's not the reality. The government will not ignore us.
That's a good point. And let's take this action in a new chapter, right? What will happen now with the US saying they want to have a digital dollar, with Nigeria already has an e-naira? I see a trend towards central banks. They've already killed the Facebook DM. Facebook is gone. No more private global currency. But we have the US, we have the euro, we have Japan, we have China. All these economies are going to come out with central bank-backed digital currencies. Is that the new threat? Was that going to be the new form of payment and exchange? Let me have Royce and Oloye just give us their take on this CBDC, how it will affect us, and also how it will affect, like Oloye like Steve is talking about. What would this do to Bitcoin's price? Is it net positive or is it going to be a net negative?
So I think the CBDCs are very interesting, and because it basically takes blockchain, which was originally developed as a decentralized technology that didn't have any one person in control.
Yeah.
And makes it the exact opposite, and basically turns it into a tool that the state can use to have even more control over your money than they might have over typical cash, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it doesn't have a lot of benefits for interoperability, make it easier for people to hold and transfer money, make folks that don't have traditional bank accounts easier for them to access the financial system. But it is kind of sort of a polar opposite, if you will, from the original ethos of Bitcoin and blockchain technology as it was developed. That said, I expect that there are going to be a lot more of those coming out over the next couple of years, and states are going to really turn to it both to make digital transactions kind of have a base layer for their currency, but also because it's going to give a lot of transparency and control that they didn't already have when you're talking about transacting with the cash in someone's currency, right?
Yeah.
The interesting thing is that Bitcoin, because it doesn't have any one person controlling it, has this idea of what we call credible neutrality, which basically means it's kind of like a central reserve bank that has decided it's never going to print more than X amount of coins, and everyone kind of holds to that. So whereas a CBDC can be thought of as a typical currency where it's controlled by the central bank and the government, Bitcoin is kind of a neutral reserve asset in theory, and that may be something that's playing into the long-term price trends of Bitcoin kind of being a part of a nation-state reserve, right?
Yeah. Interesting take. Ole, what do you think about it? CBDCs vis-a-vis Bitcoin, crypto, and all that. Where do you think that's going to go to? Net positive, net negative overall? What do you think?
I think it is more validation of the currencies.
Interesting, yeah.
It might be against the ethos of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is not the currencies. Bitcoin is not the doctrine. I think it is just basically like now the banks can now act as node that validate transactions in the sense of all these different banks were operating the CBDCs are now like the node. Just like someone would use a Bitcoin node or whatever, a Bitcoin Lightning node. It's just that way it gives the entire ecosystem itself more, because this is not the government getting exposure to cryptocurrencies. So when we now talk about like the regulation, which the other person referred to, then if you have exposure to something, then you have the tendency to try to understand it. Right now, the governments are not trying to understand it before they even approach.
That
But
is
if
true.
you are going to have like CBDC, they actually have to think about cryptocurrencies. That is why that idea is not known in Nigeria, because of the distrust that we have against the system. E-Naira is a solid idea. Anyone that tells you that it's not a solid idea is lying to themselves. E-Naira is a solid idea. The problem with E-Naira is that we distrust our own system because we have not tried to understand the pace in which we are trying to play. So, all thinking governments to think about this, because anything would not survive if it doesn't get adoption. So how do we get adoption? Who are the people already in this ecosystem? That is why you see Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, and a bunch of other like top crypto guys. They are going to the US Senate. They are trying to like have these conversations like, okay, as far as the regulations come, what do you think will make sense? Well, this is what we think will make sense. This is what we think the government should do. They're trying to have those conversations to build trust. So that when these things actually happen, then there'll be more validation. So it is not just a one-way thing. Like, oh, the government can just enforce whatever it wants, and then it's going to get adoption. It's not going to happen like that because we already have Bitcoin. But that's
Why not?
good.
Why not? Government can say that the only way you can pay for your house rent or for your land charge or for your petrol is e-Naira.
They
You
can-
have to use e-Naira.
Victor, they can say it, but will we do it? They can say it, but will the people
Where will
follow?
you get the petrol then? If you
Where are
don't
we
have
getting
e-Naira?
petrol now?
I mean, what is this? How is that even feasible? I mean, we have to talk about, if we were discussing ideas, we have to think about the feasibility of the idea. Can government say everyone would only be able to buy if they have e-Naira? Do you know how many of Nigerian citizens would be cut out of the system?
But are you guys in Nigeria at all?
Okay,
Nigeria
Vic-
government not this dollar in people's accounts
Victor,
before?
I want us to, so let's be just have a formal house and all that. I hear your points, but I'm going to allow, I have Uzogo want to speak. So Uzogo, I'm going to have you speak, then I have Olumide next. So Uzogo, if you can come off mute and then just let us know what you have in mind, and then we can take that from you, sir. Go ahead. Uzogo, waiting for you to come off mute and let us know what you want to say. All right, Olumide, good day, sir. I have you here. Come off mute and let us hear you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. Great discussion.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks so much. So I just wanted to share some sentiments. So first of all, I think we need to understand the objective around the crypto industry. First of all, it was the story of why Bitcoin was created, and that was decentralizing finance. You understood the market crash. Now, the issue we're having with CBDCs, I'll start with CBDCs, then go to the fundamentals we were talking about initially. First of all, so the issues we're having with the crypto markets is that it lacks legality. And if you understand the story of money must have a form of legality. And a lot of people use crypto assets for transaction. So, and also there's this question of security. Bitcoin, because it does not have any central authority, it was very difficult to pinpoint a central authority sharing some form of thing to the public, and you understand the definition of security. And that was when a lot of crypto assets got some form of fundamental trouble with the Security Exchange Commission in terms that it may likely face securitization. Now, having said that, we see that the market is evolving. So what government is trying to see is that government has seen the importance of blockchain, have seen the sophistication of digital legal. So it's an hybrid between what they see in fiat and what the crypto market is bringing. And that's what CBDC came all about. Now the question is it going to be successful? Well, time will tell. But this is what I like to understand. If you look at Google Trend, for example, if you look at Google Trend, like type e-Naira, for example, you'll be so surprised to see that places like Borno, Kaduna, Kano have the highest interest. So what the dynamic is trying to tell you is that places that when we see our banking infrastructure that is not so solid, the INR tends to be so attractive, and that is why GT Bank.
So let's say that again, please. Make that point again, please. With Borno and banking infrastructure.
Borno, the northern part, Borno, Katsina, Kano, they are part of the states with the highest interest of INR, and that was partly because we have weak banking infrastructure compared to what we are seeing in the south. And also, you need to also understand that GT Bank, one of the premier banks in Nigeria, have about 40% INR market share in terms of number of wallet download. And the reason they are being successful because of they understand the infrastructure deficiency in areas like the north and some areas. So that is where the INR is trying to. But you see, just like what you rightly said, a lot of people have issues with the fact that government has had a kind of dimming view towards the crypto market. So they see INR as right. But I think that will change with the digital dollar development coming today and the fact that we are already seeing many countries doing CBDC. The future definitely will come on blockchain. But the question is that you need to understand the power of government in finance and the fact that there is no how these things will not work together. I'm not saying that CBDC will become the major players in terms of transaction, but definitely we are seeing that government is trying to limit what we call stable coins upside. And that is why if you look at Genetic Initiative, you can know the fact that these stable coins have to be regulated because somehow if you look at the function of stable coins, they pay almost the same similarities with fiat currency. So if we have the digital dollar, the CBDC naira come to play. Why would we really use a stable coin? So that's where I want to share my sentiment today.
So it's a threat. It's a threat more or less, of course, to the US, to the euro, and all that. It's a big threat to them and all. Yeah, I agree. Good point. Yeah. Okay, excellent. Olivia, hang around, please. Let me have. I think who's guys asking people. Sugo. Authority, welcome. So I know you're at a wedding somewhere in the southwest. If you want to chip in a word, sure, you can come off mute. Guys, the floor is open. Obianuju is there to take your DMs and questions. I have great hosts, just experts in this field, and my job is just to moderate. I am a learner on this field. I've just learned a lot from likes of Oloye, Olumide, Authority, and all that. So join me in learning. Unzube, let me see if I don't kill the name. Unzubuchukwu, how you doing, sir? Unzube, hey, great. How are you, sir? Do you want to say something?
Okay, yeah, I have a question.
Yes, go for it, sir.
Okay, so I'm currently studying finance. Read much about history of money and how money gets adopted and how money fades out, how money comes on board and how money dies away. So one major thing about money is that it has to be secure. Like there has to be guarantee that in the future the supply is not tampered with. Somebody cannot easily make counterfeits, or somebody cannot easily find dollar in maybe plenty dollars in one world, something like that. But you get what I'm trying to say. So, and that's a major issue. That's why I feel that these CBDCs will really threaten Bitcoin, because Bitcoin, nobody is there to guarantee. Now, here's my question. My question is how, because I don't see how is the adoption of how is Bitcoin going to get popular? How is everybody going to start using it?
Well, isn't it already popular? Bitcoin is popular. I use it.
Bitcoin is popular in name. Bitcoin is not popular in usage. Nobody uses it. Like nobody. Okay, if I go on a website now to pay for something or to buy something, if there's a means to pay through my credit card and a means to pay through Bitcoin. Bitcoin has not yet won the argument.
In Nigeria or where? What jurisdiction? Because in the US, I have cards that I can buy gas with Bitcoin. PayPal, you can pay for your grocery with Bitcoin or with cash, right? So many apps allow you to go back and forth. I save in a quote-unquote Bitcoin-enabled bank. It takes my cash, converts to Bitcoin, pays me 9% APR. So in Nigeria, yes, but globally, no.
What I'm saying, my
this. Do you think? Okay. Let me leave my question first. So you think that as of now, Bitcoin is used more than the major currencies of the country?
Of course not. Of course not. But it's growing, right? I think Olay wants to chip in and say something, but I think it's growing. The use case is expanding. Now we have 3 countries with Bitcoin as legal tender: El Salvador, Ukraine, Russia, and there are others. It wasn't like this 2021, right? Olay, do you want to add something to the comments?
Yeah, I think it's just that research. I mean, I like it. I like it when people are bold about things maybe they are not like really about, because that's how you get the best answer. People then become passionate enough to actually provide you with the answer. So I like it. If you're speaking about the history of money, the history of money was not legal, and it's just recently. I mean, if we're talking like civilization as human beings, recently, legal tender is very recent. Who regulated carbon shells? Who regulated trade by barter? This is basically the market. This is basically what the people accepted that as value. So now the problem that became with the barter system was, how do we have a unique conversion that, okay, I'm not giving you my thing to collect like 2 cups of beans because that is what I need right now, and I have like maybe 2 things. So that was what like brought about legal tenders, and then the fact that okay, it became regulated by the government, obviously, but it has not always been like that. But here's the thing, something else you should know is the market cap of Bitcoin today. I'm going to look it up for you right now. Is $796 billion. So if you say no one uses it, that's $796 billion. That is just the market cap today. That's crossed 1 trillion. But now, because market cap is obviously calculated by value and circulating supply, so of course that figure will move around a lot. But if you say no one is using it, then you would have to actually go like look it up and see that a lot of people actually using Bitcoin. And the argument also comes up to the fact that if you take your Naira to the US, no one would accept it. Do you understand? So even currencies, fiat currencies are not global. Bitcoin doesn't have to be global to validate itself as a currency. It only has to play the.
And that's actually their biggest advantage, because these countries make a lot because they are the only ones that have access to their currencies. So that's one major issue I have with Bitcoin. The fact that Nigeria as a country,
they're not the only ones that have access to their currencies. You can buy the US dollars. Your US citizen can buy.
Yeah, you can buy the US dollars. You have to buy it from them. Do you understand what I mean?
I.e., they are the only issuers of the currency. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. So you make a lot of money year over year, a lot of profits.
I'm sorry. Do you? Okay.
I think his point. I think the point is, I think you made the point that the market cap is high. It's worth over $1 trillion, like you rightly said a few days ago. And every day I see use case. Tesla was accepting Bitcoin. If not for the environmental argument, Tesla will still be accepting Bitcoin. Tesla is a Fortune 500 company, so they've got cryptocurrency on their balance sheet. And the Fed and the SEC have not queried that. So just think about that. The Fortune 500 company has got Bitcoin as an asset on its balance sheet, and it's quote unquote allowable. You pay taxes in the US on your Bitcoin. You have to file an IRS tax. So it's becoming more mainstream. Just last week, President Joe Biden passed an executive order asking US regulatory agencies to begin the process of regularizing who have oversight over Bitcoin. So it's slowly getting there, right? And pretty soon with the CBDCs, this is going to be mainstream, which is why we're doing this space, right? So we can learn all about it. And just like you are asking questions, I'm also asking questions, right? So I think we're in the same space. Authority, you've been coming off and on mute. Did you want to say anything, sir?
Good evening, everyone.
How you doing? How is your wedding?
Wedding is nice. I'm in Jamaica now.
Nice.
The discussion is lovely. Good evening, everyone. I have to enter the car to say it because the discussion is very to everyone that just got into cryptocurrency, welcome to the new world. Sincerely speaking. Let's start by Oloye has done very wonderfully by debunking what the last person said. Let me confirm what Oloye said. BTC index of transaction 2001 did 3 trillion worth of payment. The net of transaction of volume of BTC is higher than American Express.
Higher than American
Express.
Gotcha.
You can Google. The person can Google it in terms of transaction. You understand? I listened to what Victor was talking about, and it was more of he was making a lot of like some people did not come to this space for pump and dump. Understand? And we have the good, we have the bad, and we have both. You understand? I'm very sure if this person has been following very well, you will know the good side. You understand? There's always the bad side in everywhere. We have so many use cases apart from the normal idea of buy, hold, and sell. It's even old. It's a bit archaic for most people because you could actually use what they call it your cryptocurrency. And another point I would like to bring up: why most countries are so bothered about stablecoins. Decentralized, collateralized, and what they call it, what you have is that 70%, over 70% of transaction of cryptocurrency is done with stablecoin.
What's the significance of that, authority? If 70% are done with stable coins, does that then mean that those are pushing away the reserve currency, the dollar? What's that significance?
The significance is that what they call it, it's easy, it's simple, and what they call it, it's like what like if like what Oloye said, a lot of us don't read this, what they call it, this white paper. The first white paper is Satoshi's own, and the whole of Satoshi's stuff, the whole of Satoshi's white paper, the summary is decentralized. You understand?
Yeah.
Gone are those days where you are in US, I'm in Nigeria, and I want to send you 1,000. I'm just giving just one case. You are $1,000, and I'm going through the banks and going through some platform. I could easily, from the comfort of my home, send you $1,000, and the fee will be less than 5. That's just one of the cases. What they call it? One of the guys said that government and regulatory stuff. Sincerely speaking, ask anybody that is dealing with cryptocurrency. We all want the government to come into it. And fairness to all of them, governments are doing, some have adopted, some are ready to learn. Because the truth of the matter, no matter how ugly it is very, very hard to stop or kill decentralized.
Let me ask you a question, authority. Is it possible to pay taxes in Nigeria with cryptocurrency? Do you think it's a good idea if the government could say we can?
Why not? Why not? If not, we don't have the laws right now. And fairness to CBN, look at the first thing you hear about cryptocurrency there, like 4 or 5 years ago. You understand? We have the bad egg, the people that they do Ponzi, and they found the properties of cryptocurrency to be an advantage. So they use it. And that's the first thing this set of directors and the leaders here that know this thing is all about fraud now. I don't blame them. But when you sit down and start to read and start to understand, you understand? I read, somebody sent me the video from BP that I did last year about cryptocurrency. cryptocurrency. Lovely. You understand? Why not? If you are earning, okay, I earn all they call income through cryptocurrency, through staking, through buying and selling, through what they call it, through savings, through cryptocurrency. But there is no law that says that I should do. If you look at it technically, there are tax laws in this country that say that if you earn income, pay taxes. If you earn income, pay taxes. But hello, I want to pay with USD. I want to pay with BN. I want to pay with Bitcoin. The law doesn't accept those ones. So
for now,
we have to give them time. It's
okay.
not easy. We have to give them time. The US, look at what the President Joe Biden did before the news came out. A lot of years, they want to block, they want to do this, they want to do that. Technically speaking, I'll read it again. It is extremely hard to stop decentralizing.
So that train has left the station more or less, and we're gonna get there. That train has.
So we don't need to get better. You understand? But Victor said, I will go back to Victor. If Victor is still here. Victor, remittance is one of the uses of cryptocurrency. A very big savings is one of the uses of cryptocurrency. A lot of people don't know that you can save the way you take your money to banks and save and get better yield in stable coin.
And let me just say something, authority. Someone sent me a DM, right? It says on their exchange, they were able to pay FIRS and LIRS taxes before the CBN stepped in. So he had an exchange, and they enabled people to pay federal and legal state taxes with.
And maybe what the person did was that I know some Bitcoin or some crypto guys that what they do is that you pay Bitcoin to them. The worth of Bitcoin will be converted to Naira and sent to LIRS or FIRS.
Gotcha.
But FIRS and LIRS does not have a platform
to receive. Okay, but still good. Okay, Obianuju, do you have? I think you have a few guys I want to maybe get a word in via the messages. Then after that, I'm just going to allow guys to speak on the open platform. Give or take about 30 or so minutes. Oloye, thank you so much for hanging around with us. Obianuju, do you have any messages on your DMs? I've got a few guys here that would like to speak.
Yes, I do. Hi. Thanks, Oloye. Thank you, authority. Okay, so we have a question. I want to be investing $100 a month for the rest of the year. Should I buy between BTC and ETH? Which should I invest my money on?
Nice question. Is that for Oloye or for who?
Well, okay, Oloye can take the question.
Wait, what? Is he asking where to invest? Could you take that question again, please?
So he said he wants to be investing $100 monthly for the rest of the year.
Mm.
So like, what should he look at? BTC or ETH?
Interesting.
Yeah, BTC
or ETH.
That one.
Yeah.
Ethereum.
I mean, why you can do both. It doesn't have to restrict himself to one. You can do both. And the good thing is, if you're holding Bitcoin on Ethereum, there's this platform called FTA, formerly Blockfolio. Just by having your savings there, they'll pay you 8% APY. That is not APR. This is APY now. That is different from APR. They pay you 8% APY just by having it on the hedge on the platform.
What's the name of the platform again, please? What's the name again?
FTX, formerly Blockfolio.
FTX, the guy's in Nigeria, right? I know the guy, he was here a minute ago, he just left. I was going to pull him up.
Yeah, that's it there. FTX.com is like the parent company of the acquired Blockfolio.
Gotcha.
FTX, formerly Blockfolio.
Gotcha.
So I use the platform. Then you can save there. They will pay you on your savings that you have. They will pay 8% APY a year on that savings. So you can do both. You don't have to restrict yourself.
Yeah.
Bitcoin and Ethereum. Maybe you can have, depending if you're more interested in conservation of your capital, then you can have more percentage of Bitcoin, but to also expose yourself to any possible upside. And you should have Ethereum too. So you should do both. You could do maybe a 60%, 60, 40, or 70% ratio and just have it there. They'll pay interest on your savings.
Okay, thank you, Lee. I believe this hand is up, but let me get a question if he wants to chip into.
I think he wants to chip in. So let me go for it.
Yeah, so I just wanted to add up to what before Louis spoke. I wanted to add up to what the last speaker said. It needs to understand certain fundamentals. You see, the currency market moves about 6 trillion in transaction volumes, while Bitcoin moves less than 0.05 with that, despite the fact that Bitcoin market is growing. Now, the thing we need to understand is why is the adoption increasing so fast now? Because we are seeing the fact that investors are looking for access to educate fiat inflation, and that is where Bitcoin comes to play. If you look at it, there are those report from one of the most respected hedge fund manager, the store of values, the fundamental reason why we are seeing Bitcoin's adoption gaining momentum. So definitely in future we are likely to see any threat against reserve currencies like the yuan or the US dollar. But having said that, yes, it's going to play systemic importance. Now, you need to understand why the future of the crypto market still has a lot of proof from government. Crypto coins, for example, have some personal fundamentals. If you take a look at Twitter, for example, the first analysis they did, their audit, they had personal backings. They first said that they are because if you look at the characteristics of stablecoin, usually backed by a liquid asset like cash and things. They announced that it was cash. Bloomberg Coindex brought them out, and thorough investigation realized that it was backed by very questionable Chinese securities. Now, look at it. Remember what happened in 2008? The mortgage subprime crisis. Remember what happened because we had bad CDCs, we had bad derivatives, and that was what we did at the systemic. So the government is aware of the systemic importance that the crypto market might face in future, and the crypto market is already becoming systemically important financial asset. So people should stop this like saying that the crypto market is definitely going to change. Yeah, we are seeing destruction, we are seeing things, but I feel like it's too far from being exaggerated. Now I'm going to summarize all this. 2 weeks ago, I had the audience to speak with the Security and Exchange Commission on Clubhouse, and the question I asked was that why are they so slow, and what is the threat of the crypto market to the reserve currency? And she said, see, that they understand that they play the technology and the importance of which centralized finance has come to the industry, and they've seen how certain banks like XRP, the Ledger, how it's being taken for their own money for their own. But she said one thing that was very interesting. She said that you need to understand that technology and adoption is a two different thing entirely. While the technology is growing at this thing, we don't see the adoption meeting the same level where they are saying in fiat and this thing, because despite people using crypto market for transactions, they are not going to get to that point because one, liquidity, two, volatility, three, mention government acceptability. Thank you.
Wow, that's a lot to take in, right? Thanks for that speech. Let me just get some other guys to speak in, right?
Okay.
I was gonna just to approve. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Okay, great. So we have another question here, but Carlo, this is for you. And I think maybe you're hiding this.
I've been hiding behind the experts in crypto.
No, this is actually very simple. The person was asking what staking is in simple terms. I think I can even respond to that, but
yeah, staking is fixed deposit, but instead of fixing cash, you're fixing digital currency. So it's just you take your cash, you buy, say, digital currency like Bitcoin, and then you stake it, you fix it like you do in the bank, but with the exchange or with an on-chain, and then you just get returns. That's it. Nothing simple, nothing complicated.
I think well, that's it. I wanted to ask the question, but not necessarily a question. But
why don't you ask your question? Go ahead and ask them. So we can just get to.
I would say it's really a question because for me, it's I was just going to reference what Louis had said before about tokenomics. you researching, doing your research. So I would even say that even after conducting your research, looking at the white paper, looking at the project, and all the milestones that the coin has set to achieve, even sometimes it can still go in the opposite direction. I'll give an example of two coins that one I had bought at ITDO, which is Electroneum, and that was as far back as 2017 or 2018. And that the coin, despite all the very lot of projects it's been releasing in the last few years. Well, I've even stopped tracking it, but I expected the coin to have picked up and do better than doing currently, but it's not. So, but hey, we win some, we win some, we lose some, so we move. And another one would be IOTA. That is my own. And I think at first it blew up, and then suddenly just it wasn't just doing well again. So in terms of looking at the project, yes, you can look at the project, you can look at the white paper, pick the right white papers. But if the coin is not going to do well, it's not going to do well, and things may change, especially when the powers that be change, or people, the people at the top of the project move on, or probably switch their switching rules. So things like that can also affect the coin and the sustainability of the coin. That's what I was saying.
Oloy, any comments on that?
No, I agree. There's been very good progress with very solid fundamental stuff done well as far as like price action is concerned. So
Great.
Sometimes the narrative is just not like beneficial for that particular coin. But there's nothing you do different right now that a lot of people will pay attention to, because that's not what the narrative is. They are more interested in like the metaverse. They are more interested in say GameFi and stuff like that. So if the project was released at the wrong time, and they can't build a community around it because they can't make a lot of people interested enough in it, then this is not just like, oh, this is lofty goals. My friend Google will say everything is a Ponzi. Everything is a Ponzi. There's nothing in developer. Of course, what do you expect the developer to tell you? They will tell you very nice things, but at the end of the day, it's the community that makes any project successful. And some people are just not good at that. They're just very good at developing. Those guys just want to develop, and they are developers, and they just want to. So maybe they are not very good marketers. That is what that can be like a failure. So yes, solid projects, its fundamentals can fail. But yes, that is where research also goes into that. Just don't buy. Sometimes we are unlucky. Of course, like I said, we win some money, lose some, but don't buy an obvious Ponzi. Don't buy an obvious meme. If they're going to like rock you, or at least let it be sensible. Don't buy Dogecoin. Don't buy I don't know, com rockets and all these things that don't give you. You understand? Like just
don't worry, everyone is going to speak. I'm going to allow everyone to speak after this. Just hang on. Go ahead, Obianaju.
Oh, okay. No, I was just responding to what the Louis said. So yes, the coin can have very knowledgeable projects. I guess I'll say Electroneum actually had very solid projects. They had big solid things that they were releasing. You could use it to buy. I think you can use it to buy. You can use it to recharge, buy utility bills. Yes, even some actually they're using it in some countries, some African countries. So that was just coming back to what you were saying. Yeah, for someone like me, yes, I'm very wary of Bitcoin. So yes, I look at things like what the project, what is the what is backing, what coin, what coins that setting out to achieve, what are the things that they're setting out to achieve. Those are the kind of things that I look at before I invest Bitcoin, or I go correct.
Yeah, I get that. I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying the ones you bought are obvious. I'm just trying to like give like a general advice now, so people can understand that just don't buy like obvious ones. So I'm not referring to the particular ones. The particular ones I already said maybe the narrative was not solid enough. Maybe they were able to like do the things around the project and all that stuff. There could be so many reasons.
Great. Thanks, Aloy. So I'm going to allow everyone to I have lots of guys here. We're all going to speak. So I have hands raised up. I've got your hand raised. I see it. But let me start with Dexter. So I'm going to have Dexter. Then we're going to have Big Flex 01. then we'll have Mr. Chris, and then we'll come back to today, and I'm going to add AY Saleh. So Dexter, if you're ready, just unmute and go ahead, sir.
Okay, thank you, Kalu. Hi, everyone. So I've been listening all the while, and just sort of chime some things. Now, we've talked earlier. I had Mr. I think Oloye or Mr. Lumide talking about market capital of crypto being about $7 billion something dollars. Now, my issue is that market capitalization does not actually mean adoption. Does not mean usage like a lot of people using it. We all know that if you look at the population of, like, I live in America, for instance, and my locality, I can tell you that there is no store, basically no store that accepts Bitcoin. So majorly, people that you spend and buy things in crypto are usually the top big guys that have invested a lot of money. So which would necessarily mean that they are responsible for that market capitalization. So that's one thing I think we need to talk about. Does not mean the volume itself is it's being spent by a lot of people. So it could just be a few number of people doing that and creating that volume. And another thing I have with crypto is that it's subjected to manipulation. Now, because we understand that crypto is very volatile, and it's subjected to market demand. Now, imagine me earning in crypto, and crypto is doing well. I make money, yes, because and that moment crypto is not doing well. I don't make money. I lose the value for my money. Now, the challenge I have now again here is that, just like I think in our last session, Carlo had last week, where a company that was on the verge of bankruptcy, some few guys started pumping money, and then trading volume, the market prices of the stocks of that company went up. That same thing that could be happening, that can happen to crypto, which is another form of manipulation, where a few guys buy at a cheaper price, and then create artificial volume, and then because nobody's regulating it, nobody can be arrested. As in the case of stock, where if it is regulated, you are not allowed to create affect the stock market, manipulate it rather. Now, I'm going to be that's one thing. I'm going to be pro-government now.
So, Chris, I'm going to have you, Dexter, I'm going to have you wind down a bit. Just got lots of guys waiting. So, yeah. Did you have a question? I can answer real quick. Like, if you live in America, you PayPal. You can use PayPal with crypto. PayPal, you can use it anywhere, Walmart, and you can pay with crypto from your PayPal. It's there automatically. So that's also great for you.
Yeah. I'm not saying otherwise, but I'm saying generally, not all stores accept PayPal.
Good point.
Yeah.
I agree. Yes. Did you have a question specifically, so I can get someone to answer?
I just want to talk about adoption of crypto if it is not government backed. Like, for instance, now if we are if crypto deals decentralization of currency and all that, I have an issue with it. We understand that if government, we all talk about value of the currency, and we all know that most countries, if not all, that the government does not support the currency, interfere with the currency exchange rate. If the foreign reserve or the country is not earning enough in foreign currency, then the value of that currency start dropping. In the case where you have your citizens buying or earning in crypto, if you can explain how that is not going to affect the fiat currency, the currency of the nation, it's not going to affect the value, or it's going to support the value. If you can explain how it's not going to have a negative implication on. I have other things I need to say, but I think we are ending up, so I'll just leave it at that.
Gotcha. I think I get your last point of that. On the part of the government, they would like to protect their monopoly to be able to issue currency. I completely agree. It's going to be a fight. No government will give away its monopoly to print dollars or naira. So on that point, I agree with you, right? Let me take Big Flex. Big Flex, if you were waiting, you can unmute and come up and speak while we still have the big boys here to answer. Big Flex, just waiting for you to unmute and come in and speak. Big Flex, I'm not seeing you. So if I do not have you, so I'm going to have Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, thanks. I see your hand up. Please unmute, sir, and go ahead. Mr. Chris, trademarked. Your hand is up, Mr. Chris. You can go ahead and unmute and speak. Go for it, sir. Okay, I don't seem to have Mr. Chris. I don't also have Big Flex. Unzube, go ahead, sir. You've had your hand up a bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's obvious the adoption is still a debate. So
Yes.
these guys have been into crypto for long.
Just hold on, sir. After Nzube speaks, you can go ahead and speak. Mr. Chris, I hear you, but just after Nzube speaks, I'll have you on. Nzube, go ahead.
Okay. So these guys have been in crypto for long. What is the major difference? Because there are so many cryptocurrencies now. Cryptocurrencies come out every day or maybe every minute. So what is the major difference between one from the other? Because obviously all of them are using the same, if not very similar technology. So it's obvious that maybe if crypto becomes adopted one day, we'll use just 2 or 3.
Gotcha.
So,
Although, can you take that real quick? Just a brief explainer, really. I think on token, all that stuff. Just a brief explainer for him, please.
Yeah, the cryptocurrencies and all the projects that are coming out now, they are building what we call like the Web3. It's like a new internet, yeah? They're building what we call Web3. So all of them are saying in that Web3, this is what we're trying to do. This is going to be our position. I agree. A lot of us who are in crypto space agree that 90% of these projects are going to die off in time. Some of them are just not strong enough. But the ones that will survive, it's like betting on Apple or Google or the .com bust. A lot of those companies died, but if the top guy stayed, so those are the same, like we're the same mission, trying to find the ones that will survive. And hopefully we're invested in those.
Great, Aloy. Thanks for that brief one. So I have now Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, you can go ahead and speak, sir.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And now everyone can hear me.
Yes, we can, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you for giving me the opportunity.
You're welcome.
In this space. This is actually my first time in this space. I'm a newbie in cryptocurrency. But I don't know anything about cryptocurrency. My friend was like, to be like telling me everything about cryptocurrency, but I can't seem to understand it. Even when I left school, I realized I can't seem to understand it. But now, I'm just looking for where to invest my money. So I've heard about PiggyVest. I don't even know about PiggyVest. So I don't know where to invest my money. Whether in crypto, I don't know whether it's investing in crypto at the moment.
I would say this, right? Before you invest anywhere, do your own simple research first of all before you even do anything, right? Because no one here can responsibly tell you where to. So I would say we go back a bit, watch YouTube videos. If you go to my website, I've got lots of stuff on there. Try to do some research and learning before you invest. So that way you at least know what is happening. Does that help? Yeah, I wouldn't want you to invest without at least knowing what, say, a token or a crypto is. That would be a bit too much, right? So at least if you understand what's going on, that's what I'd advise you to do first of all. Start really small and get to really understand what's going on, and then you can then take it from there. That's what I would advise that you do.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I've got Oyekan. Let me just see. I've got Oyekanmi Stephen. Oyekanmi, if you can hear me, sir, just unmute and go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah, very good. Good evening, and thanks for having me here.
You're very welcome, sir.
Okay. So, just to reply to the last inquiry by the last guy who talked about investing in crypto. So, just 3 simple tips, right, that I've learned over the years investing. So, number 1 is use CoinGecko. CoinGecko.com is a very
CoinGecko.com.
CoinGecko.com tracks about 1,000 of the most liquid cryptocurrencies in the world, right? From 1, to about 1,000 listed in a 100 block format, right? 1 to 100 in about 10 to 20 pages, right? And then it lists all the liquid coins that you can think of: Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, Avalanche. Now if you go to CoinGecko, there's a part they call recently added. There is coins that recently added on either Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum or Phantom or Avalanche or Solana. Avoid those coins. Any coin you see on recently added, avoid those coins, because most of those coins are prone to pump and dump schemes, by funny characters. Another thing when you're trying to invest in a coin is look at the liquidity, right? What was the trade when the trading volume of the coin in the last 24 hours? Look at the exchanges, that are hosting those coins. For example, if the coin is not on Binance, right? It's not on MEXD, KuCoin, Binance, FTX, Coinbase. Dig for that. Because you want to know. Who are the guys behind this project? The management team. Have these guys scammed people before? Have they rocked their investors before? Very important. 24-hour trading volume. What is the? What does it look like? If they're trading below $1 million, $2 million, don't just jump in. Observe the coin for like 2 to 3 days, and then see what the 24-hour trading volume is. In my own case, in my own rule of thumb, if it's anything less than $10 million for that 24-hour trading volume, right? I just don't invest in it because it's prone to pump and dump schemes, and I've lost a lot of money doing these things. And then number 2 is always check on CoinGecko.com. Check it. So I always limit my investments to the first 200 rank coin on CoinGecko.com. So that's number 1 to number 100. Even if I'm going to play it a bit extreme, I won't go more than 200. So that's the first listed coin to the 200th coin listed on CoinGecko.com. I'm not going to exceed those coins because those coins are quite liquid. If I need to sell them off in the next 5 minutes, I can trade them off immediately. So I won't go past the 200 listed coin there, because those coins that are very liquid and they're established coins, with the project in that's got enough skin in the game.
I like those points. Can I request kindly that you send me like a little write-up and I'll forward it on a tweet? So in case people couldn't follow, they could just do a write-up. I'll do a snip and I'll attach it to the tweet so people can just follow what you're saying. Go to CoinGecko, track the volume, track the circulating supply, see if it's on other. These are all points that an expert or someone that has been in the game before has done. So if you could please detail them out in a tweet to me, I will make sure I share so more people that maybe are just listening and cannot write can have it. I would appreciate it if you could do that, sir.
Absolutely. I will do that and send that to you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Man, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right. So I think he's dropped off. I'm trying to add Getba23 to come in and speak up. Benji, did you get a request to add him? I can't see him to speak, but I'm trying to add him. Well, just about 2 minutes to go.
I'm also trying to dream. I'm also sent it to
Okay.
So I'm trying to add him here as a speaker.
All right. I would have wanted to speak before we let Oloye go and respect his time. He's been with us for about 2 hours and all that. But just in closing, Oloye, what did you say?
I said, can we quickly take a question?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so the person who had asked earlier about the $100 monthly investment.
Yes.
A follow-up question.
Yes.
That he's currently staking to get am I staking to get the 8% or just buying monthly automatic?
Oh no, staking.
So yes, exactly.
Yeah, I got the same question. Yeah, he sent me the same thing. I think he's referring to the program on FTX. On FTX, you don't have to stake it. You only have to have it on the platform, which means you can remove it at any time. If you stake it, then you need a staking period. Those can differ. And if you're trying to store your money as soon as possible, maybe that is not optimal for you on FTX and remove it immediately. So all you have to do is on FTX, formerly Blockfolio, all you have to do is have your savings there, then you activate the APY. You can Google it. I'm sure they have some article on it. all you have to do is activate the 8% APY on your savings. So whenever you're done with it, you can unactivate it and remove all your savings and whatever else accumulated on it.
Yeah, the FTX guy was here. I saw Harris here. He dropped off quite a bit. He would have been the best to speak on that, but he was here a bit. Thanks, Oloye, for giving us clarity on that. I said, okay, now I have him here. Yeah. Yeah, he's here. Sarwaji, how you doing? I don't know if I got that name correct. You can unmute and speak, sir.
Somebody's asking that he's just getting into crypto and is there an end to this conflict? But I believe that all the responses we've got here tonight from the speakers has already answered. There is no end to this conflict. So yeah, yep. I think that's it. Okay.
All right. So Sarwaji, please unmute Mr. Singh. Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Carlo, for having me up on the stage. Hello to my friend Olumide. I just want to tell everyone in the audience that we should really differentiate between Bitcoin and all the other crypto. But the only one that is sound money is Bitcoin, which has a fixed supply of 21 million. That is the one that is sound money that no one can change. It is truly decentralized. So there's no CEO. So if you're getting into the digital asset space, it is so many coins. There's more than 17,000 coins. So I would highly recommend everyone that start with 100 hours of Bitcoin only. And whenever you buy digital assets, this should be your majority. Bitcoin should be considered like a sound savings that you buy and hold. I expect over the next decade, it should go up 75% per year. Certain years it will be higher. It might be 200%, 300%. Certain years it may drop. But if you hold it for at least 3 years, it will be up. And it should go up 75%, so it should be considered a sound saving. And then all the other cryptos, you look at them as startups. And you really have, and they are fiat derivatives. So you have to evaluate them just like any other company. What use case are they doing besides being sound money? So you should really differentiate the two. Spend 100 hours just Bitcoin when you're getting into the digital asset space. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think that was a perfect summary. I personally have Bitcoin and Ethereum, and listening to Oloye for a while, I always go to his spaces when I have the time. He always allows me to speak gracefully. I've decided just to keep them, lock them up somewhere and forget about them. I just take them and leave them alone. Whatever's going to happen should happen. Oloye, let me have you just give a vote of just a closing statement so we can just thank you on behalf of the community for spending more than 2 hours with us, just explaining to us. Royce was also here. I think he's also let to send me a message that he and all. So please, yeah, if you could just come off mute. I think I accidentally muted everyone, but if you come off mute and then you can just give us your thanks, I would appreciate that, sir. Sorry, I muted everyone. Everyone is now muted. Oloye, please go ahead, sir.
Thanks. It's that is what we get. The adoption of cryptocurrencies figures all of those. And there are a few things I did note down that I thought maybe I should go back to, but there's really no need for that now. And as far as
I think you should, Oloye. Could you note down responses? Please go ahead if you did, and also tell us about your own spaces that you host on the future of crypto, in case we would like to join and also learn on your own space. So if you have responses, please go ahead and please let us know about your own space that I know that you host, sir.
All right. Thanks. Something the last speaker said, like Bitcoin being sound money, that is true. And someone else mentioned us before and said, oh, how about like manipulations and all that stuff? I mean, if you consider the fact that most of the dollar that is being used now was printed and the last year, then you might not want to be too argumentative when you're talking about manipulation of any currency, because the dollar has no limited supply. It can be printed by the government at any time based on whatever they are looking at. They can print money, and that has happened in Nigeria, so where it's just borrowing of money, and they're just borrowing money on money and money, like being used to like do anything from my own perspective. Maybe someone else asked something else. So the government can manipulate the money. That is not. But Bitcoin is a space, and the fact that Bitcoin is proof of work, which means that to mine Bitcoin, some resources have to go into it. So it is not just free money that anyone can just. It's not paper that someone can just print. A lot of resources goes into mining Bitcoin. So that's actually ties to this fact that it is also like found money too. So yeah, and someone else was talking about how much of crypto do we actually use. The thing is, if you're not in this space, you won't know a lot of things happening. But I can tell you, the biggest company in this country, I'm not going to mention the name, I'm just going to allow you to guess what the biggest founder or company in this country is, actually uses cryptocurrencies to do import for some of their for some of their goods from Asia, China, and I've been part of some of that transaction. But that is not, that is just like on the background. Actually, this cryptocurrencies where we accept Naira, we turn it to crypto, we pay with whichever suppliers, they are paid in China, and they get their goods. And it is not like, what is it called? Is it MoneyGram and all these guys that charge you many percent on your remittance and what? So that is actually like another point, like remittance. You can remit Bitcoin anywhere and it will cost you less than you have to pay on MoneyGram or any of those other money processing things. So as far as like validation for Bitcoin itself goes, or as far as the use of cryptocurrencies itself goes, then that is, like the last speaker said, Bitcoin is quite different. Ethereum, you can look at it as a startup. What is it doing? Ethereum is quite decentralized, where Bitcoin is money and all that stuff. So Bitcoin itself, it has already been validated. What is left for Bitcoin is mass adoption, and that's what happened without the regulation. That is where a lot of people who are in the crypto space actually favor regulations. So, I mean, they favor regulations so much that they are starting to self-regulate. After decide on its own that it's not going to let people leverage under them anymore. But even that will be more comfortable for the exchange, because you can liquidate people however you want if you allow them to do that. They lose more money to you. But they decide to self-regulate and say, no, we're not going to let you do more than 20M. So that is how much the people, the people actually in charge of things want regulation, because the no adoption is dependent on it. So the question is, do you want to get in before the mass adoption, or do you want to get in after the mass adoption?
That's a good point. So it's timing now. We're talking about timing to this market that we know is going to keep on expanding. I mean, you can ignore it and buy late, or you can take a little step, toe in, maybe buy a little bit and then see what happens. I hear you, lawyer. I hear you. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Focus. I'm waiting for my post. I would appreciate it once you send it. No rush, and I'll share to everyone. Thanks for everyone for dropping all those links and quotes. I've been sharing them. Thank you guys so much. We're trying to, it's a learning space, right? And when I ask questions, I'm asking questions for the other side. I am asking questions so we can all learn together, right? Thanks for everyone that has spoken, that wanted to speak. Thank you, Royce. Thank you, Loye. Thank you, Authority.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot something.
Yeah, go for it.
To talk about Crypto Roundup Africa.
Yes, please do that.
So we do Crypto Roundup Africa every Thursday. So that is 9 p.m. every Thursday. We do Crypto Roundup Africa. We talk to founders, builders, people who are doing project traders, wherever you are, as long as you have something we think a lot of people might want to listen to. We'll talk to you on Crypto Roundup Africa. So yes, we also write the economy, which is one of the things I've talked the year. So we're also working on an actual Web3 education company, so that's also been launched. It is Crypto Roundup, obviously called Crypto Roundup Africa. So just to give you guys some of the things that we're working on.
Fantastic. Crypto Roundup Africa. Fantastic. Thanks. We appreciate your knowledge and your willingness to share to us. Thank you so much, guys. I hope I got everyone to speak. Some I approved, but they dropped out, so it wasn't on purpose. I do apologize. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Next week, I'm trying to bring back the guys from FCMB to talk about this whole investing in money market and USD. You know, we're trying to just fight this inflation. The new report came out, inflation is going up. So let's see how we can tap down inflation by investing right. It just falls on me now to just say thank you to everyone. Thanks for listening. Thanks for the guests. I wish you guys a pleasant weekend ahead. And we'll see you guys next week. Thank you. Do follow. My website is www.kaluaja.org. Lots of resources there, both apps you can invest with. We do we have a YouTube channel that talks just about the US market. That's sponsored by Passfolio that we do. Lots of apps you can invest with, blogs, podcasts, and webinars all in there for you. Thank you again. And you don't say goodbye to our guests as we round up.
Thank you very much for being Olumide. I think has dropped off, but thank you very much. I really appreciate taking our time to give us a lot of us, a lot of preparation as helping us proper manage our assets, our investments, and be more financial self. Thank you once again, and see you guys next weekend.
Excellent. Thank you. All right, guys. Take care. You guys have a good Saturday. Enjoy yourselves and be good, right? Let's pray for Ukraine. Let's pray for peace. We don't need all that fighting. All we need is peace so we can make our money. Thank you, guys. Take care.